Ladies and gents, welcome back. Bill C-11, the internet censorship bill, being rammed through the House of Parliament one more time, being pushed off into the Senate to then become law in Canada. Of course, not before censoring the actual debate in the House, saying, no, we've had enough talk, pass the bill. Anyway, what perfect timing for Justin Trudeau to make an important announcement. He's on YouTube. Oh goodness! And I wish this was all just a joke, but no, this is true. Justin Trudeau has now made himself a YouTube channel where he can tell you about all the things like how racist you are, and virtue signal to the left and all of that. All of that amazingness, to which he's speaking to his ginormous audience of around 1,000 people here at this point. But what's funnier than this is the actual response online. A number of people are actually taking to YouTube to report him as a channel that incites hate against political opponents. Breaking news, a new phenomena of Canadians flocking to Justin Trudeau's new YouTube channel sweeps the nation, where citizens block and report the channel for misinformation in protest to his censorship legislation bill C-11. Will you take a moment to block Trudeau? And this is, an example of somebody doing this, searching out his YouTube channel and then blocking him, hitting the report user and filling it in and saying, well, this is in violation of your terms of service. This individual is a hate speaker, I guess. Now, I'm not encouraging people to do this, but this is actually a phenomenon that's happening right now, and it's under the hashtag Block Justin on Block Justin on Twitter, and many channels or many people are doing this. Thanks, we've received your report. If we find this content to be in violation of our community guidelines, we will remove it. Well, let's see if this actually happens. And people actually reporting the user and putting in notes, additional notes. This individual regularly uses social media to insult, demonize, and generally promote hate against any who have a differing point of view. He also publicly engages in severe racism. Again, okay, so this is a thing. This is an actual thing. People blocking Justin Trudeau on YouTube, and well, welcome to the community, Justin Trudeau. We do have rules around here. There is certain ways of engaging yourself. Now, many people are taking to the House of Parliament. Here's the leader of the official opposition, Pierre Poilievre, talking about Bill C-11 and what it'll do.
Having algorithms that give people things they want to see. There will be algorithms that give people things the government wants them to see. And the government will operate through the CRTC, a large, woke government agency that will manipulate algorithms to promote so-called Canadian content. What is Canadian content? Well, they can't tell us. They suggest, for example, that Canadian content is a CBC article that is plagiarized in Washington about American politics. That would be an American-made story about American politics, but it would be Canadian content because it would be provided by the state broadcaster in Canada. But a single mother who produces a video about raising funds for her local kids' sports team, that would not be Canadian content, because it would not be on the having algorithms that give people.
It would not be on the appropriate channels, and that is really what it comes down to. The idea of becoming Canadian content. Well, there's going to be a bureaucracy that you have to cut through all the red tape to prove that you're Canadian content if you want to be known as Canadian content and be favored by this new algorithm. And in all intents and purposes, it may not actually favor you that much. We'll see how this works and what'll end up happening from this, because it looks, for all intents and purposes, as it's going to be rammed through the process. It's going to become law in Canada. Convince me I'm wrong on this. But here we go. We have the Bloc Québécois coming clean and saying the quiet part out loud. Oh God, you cannot make this up. This is something that was actually said in the House of Parliament in Canada.
If violating freedom of expression means ensuring that Quebec content is well represented online, well, then that's worth it.
Wow, it's worth it to violate freedom of expression in order to help a particular group of people. Wow, that's just, wow, just extraordinary.
Well, folks, they finally said the quiet part out loud. Today, in debate on Bill C-11, Bloc MP Adrian LaRouche said exactly what all the supporters of Bill C-11 have been thinking all along. It's totally fine to trample all over your freedom of speech and your freedom of expression rights, so long as a few people in the culture lobby get some extra clicks online. Well, guess what? All MPs need to wake up and find out that it's not okay to trample all over Canadians' freedom of expression and freedom of speech. We are prepared to stand up, we are prepared to oppose this bill, and we are calling on every member of Parliament to vote the way your constituents want and scrap Bill C-11. It's dangerous, it's going to violate our freedom of speech and our freedom of expression, and we cannot allow this bill to get through the House of Commons, get signed into law, and become a very sad reality.
Absolutely. That was from Jay Goldberg. Bill C-11 is about taking away your freedom of speech and your freedom of expression. Supporters are now admitting it live in the House of Commons. It is time to end the gateway to government censorship. It's absolutely a gateway to censorship. Here's Leslyn Lewis saying her piece about what Bill C-11 is all about.
Madam Speaker, I would argue that this bill is a form of censorship, that it is more insidious than a government-issued order or mandate or sanction, because in this case, Canadians will not know what they are being censored for. If this bill passes, bureaucrats behind closed doors, subject to the will of their political masters, will issue directives to manipulate algorithms and control the search bar in your home. They will never know, Canadians will never know what is not being allowed. In this scenario, the government can control what is presented to you and what is put in your very mind by controlling what you see. Canadian creators will not know the reason why their content is not going viral. Creators will never know when their content is being demoted by government-dictated algorithms. Madam Speaker, this is a form of technocratic control, and I fear, as many Canadians do, that this technocratic control will grow as our society becomes more digitally dependent on artificial intelligence and internet-connected smart technologies. As parliamentarians, it is our duty and our responsibility to serve the interest of Canadians and uphold the rights and freedoms of all Canadians. This bill is an attack on freedom of choice and freedom of expression of all Canadians online. We must not allow this government to creep down a path that leads to silencing critics from promoting some voices over others that politically suit their ends.
Absolutely. This is exactly where we are right now. We're in a it's crazy. We are on the cusp of becoming like China, having a censored internet where it's the government that decides ultimately what you get to see in your feed on social media. Where is the end of this? There's no knowing. Now, I would encourage everybody to get in touch with your MP, the MP in your riding. Tell them that you don't support this and you would prefer if they don't support it as well. Make it a voting issue. Tell them that if they support this, they will not be getting your vote in the next election. It seems the only thing that politicians even care about. They don't care about anything on a principled level, but if you tell them that you're not going to vote for them on this issue in particular, make this an actual crux for why you would or would not vote for a particular politician. I know there's a lot of blanket emails that are the templates that are sent out there. When people get a template email, they just chalk it off as there's another one. Actually, write an email, write a letter, do what you got to do. Tell people, tell your representatives that you do not support this, and it's for the sake of everybody, not just creators here in Canada, but the consumers of the products that are being created. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.